All right, yo, 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 it's your boy Yoshi Kid Neo, and we're back with D&D in the world of Boridil. Today, we're doing two different sessions. One of them's going to be like a quick 20 to 30 minute session with Reed as we do play out his backstory a little bit. And then the next session will be after we're with the full crew. And yeah, it'll be with the full crew. All right, so let me get the music going. Some nice little... I don't know. I'm gonna say this one actually.
The other one sounded like a new game music file.
Oh, that's not what I... This one right here. Once it starts, I think it's got like a 3-second.
Yeah, that one sounds like you're in a mini selection. Do you want to start a new game? Do you want to continue? Those first 3 seconds.
Let me see. Trying to find this will work. Let me get onto here. Okay. Oswald, Crown Prince of the Kingdom of Titania. You awaken as you just recently fell out of consciousness after lurching towards a creature that was killing the people of your kingdom. As you come to, you notice everything around you has been pretty much destroyed. The shops that you would go in the morning to buy your bread for breakfast, the places that you would get your equipment and arms for your next journey, even the maid that would wash your clothes, everything is gone, destroyed. Before you, you can see the remains of those that you fought alongside with. As you stand up, you notice a sharp shooting pain in your left side, most likely a broken rib or two, as you try to pull yourself up from the ground and gain your balance. A few moments of heavy breathing and trying to keep yourself from throwing up from the sheer amount of pain, you finally are able to start moving around to see what is left of your now desecrated empire. As you walk forward, you can see in front of you the giant beast that had put you into this condition. The three-headed black dog, in mythology known as a Cerberus, but you yourself have no idea how such a creature came to be, except for you know of the secret spell that your father had a group of wizards working on so that you guys could defend yourselves against the neighboring giants. This is the result of that spell. You somewhat fall to your knees as you find the bodies of a lot of the King's Guard, all the remains tattered, torn apart. A lot of them have severed limbs and such. And then you see one corpse that you can't help but bring a couple tears to your eyes as you look upon your mentor, the one who's taught you everything about your fighting styles and such. Missing half of his body. The other half is unknown to you, but you can see his face. You see the fear that he had on his face before he left this world. You then look back at the corpse of your once father, now beast, and you feel sudden rage start to pound in your chest. Why did this happen? How could this spell have backfired? Was this what the mages had planned all along? Are they working for someone else? These are the questions that keep popping into your head, but you don't have answers. And as of right now, you don't know how you'll find answers. Right now, you're trying to survive. The only neighboring town that you know of that could possibly help you is the town to the northwest of Iran. Is that how you would have pronounced it?
I think Arion.
Arion. It's about 3 to 4 days travel, but based on your wounds, it'll probably be the latter of the two. You look around and gather any equipment that you deem necessary before you begin your journey, as well as the small thread of hope of what type of whether there are any survivors or not. Hello.
Hey,
We are
Just
doing a
talking
one-on-one.
Oh, are you?
Yes. So silence.
so real quick,
Yeah.
some of it might be secret or not a need to know basis for the other party members.
So I can't launch.
Yeah. But you can stay here. We'll just go to the private channel, and we'll be back.
Just get off.
Bye, Martin. For now.
I have fun.
Always. It's D&D. Alright. Anyway.
Yeah, it's not that I don't want him to know. It's just like not.
It'd be good roleplay moments for the future. I meant to put us in the private chat beforehand, so that was my bad. Anyway, you're looking for, you have slight glimmers of hope that maybe, just maybe, there's someone else alive. But the more you look around, the more bodies you see, and your hope starts to fade ever so slightly. As you make for what used to be the main gate of your kingdom, which has now fallen to ruins, you notice on the outskirts that everything else looks to be untouched. Only your kingdom has been destroyed. Whatever spell this was, it was somehow contained, as if this was the plan all along. This makes the rage inside of you grow ever more. But now you have only one duty to your kingdom: to seek revenge on these wizards for what the damage they've caused. And in order to do that, you need to find refuge. For now, you are the lone survivor, as you know, of Titania. As you seek a pathway to Arion, you come upon the woods that you know to be the Nymph Woods. You've never really journeyed into the deep portions, for you do not need to do such since you are royalty. But you've heard stories of how the Nymph Woods are home to a lot of fey creatures. First day of your journey, you walk through, you try to stay on the coast, or on the, what's it called? The edge of the forest, as to not get too deep and get lost, since you are not in a very stable condition. You end up finding a nice hollowed out tree that you call your camp for the night. As you fall to unconsciousness, you don't really sleep very well, for the dreams that take over you soon turn to nightmares, as you just keep watching in your mind as this three-headed dog keeps on slaughtering the people of your kingdom. You wake up sick to your stomach, and you crawl out of your fallen tree encampment site, and after about 10 minutes of throwing up, based on the sheer anxiety and pain that dream caused you, you finally find a couple of rations in your pack that you munch on to gain some strength for the rest of your journey. You move through the forest, finding yourself deeper into the forest, as the coastline is not very navigatable. You continue to move forward, maybe a day and a half left until you reach shelter. Go ahead and roll a perception check for me. So as you are coming up to a clearing,
Sorry, quick question.
what's up?
Since there's two numbers, is it the left that's first?
Yeah, the
and
left
then
is always first, and the reason it does the two numbers is because I
for
have
advantage
every
or
exactly. So in anytime you roll, we always take the left side, and then if you roll and have advantage or disadvantage, we go with the rules based on which you have.
looks like a nat 20 then. For critters.
Yeah. So if it shows up green like that, that means you rolled a natural 20. If it shows up red, you rolled a natural 1. And the way I play is in combat, theoretically, based on the rules as written, natural 20s and natural 1s in combat are the only times that those actually matter. Everything else, it typically means that you just got a really good roll. The way I play it is depending on how high the DC is of whatever I'm having you roll for will determine whether it's an automatic success or failure, but it's not always going to be automatic success or failure. But regardless, a natural 20 is going to end up making it to where you see a lot more with a perception check than a natural 1. So anyway, as you're approaching this clearing, you stop to take a breather real quick, and good thing you did, because as you look up, you see what looks to be a glowing light start to come from the forest clearing. After a few moments of it just gliding around the clearing, another one comes from the other side, and then another, and another. In your mind, you can hear the gigglings of what you would think to be fairies or pixies. You've read tales of these creatures and how, although they're not evil per se, they do like to play tricks, and in your condition, those tricks could be deadly. So you decide that this is a proper time to rest, and as you lean against the tree and finally sit down, darkness takes over your mind or your eyes as you fall asleep, unable to bear the exertion, or unable to cope with the amount of exertion that you have taken over the past few days. When you wake up, it is close to the end of the night. Do you wish to go ahead and make camp and rest some more, or continue on your journey?
How much rest was I able to obtain beforehand?
You probably fell asleep for about 4 hours, so
And I'm still in a injured state.
correct.
I will rest a little longer then.
So as you wake up, you see that you have very minimal daylight, and you decide best to make camp right here and then finish your journey in the morning. So you walk around, making sure to take notice of anything that may have crossed your path as you were asleep, and you don't see any tracks of anything. It looks like those pixies from before didn't notice you. So you start to gather some firewood, you make shelter and a camp, you keep yourself warm, and then finally you fall asleep because you are in much need of rest. A few more hours pass by, and the chirping of birds wakes you. As you come to, the sun hasn't quite risen yet, but you can see on the horizon that it is probably about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. Although you are still tired, just from the wounds that you have taken, you are alert and ready to continue your journey. Do you do so? You're probably about right here, so
So, the tools in the top left seem to be great help for me.
or is one of them blue?
The top.
Alright, so the top one is the mouse clicker. You should be, like, there isn't any, you should be able to click. Like, they look grayed out to me as well until you highlight over them, and then they should be blue.
Okay,
Yeah, there you go.
my bad.
You're good. Judging by the distance you've traveled, you should reach Arion in at the mid-afternoon to early evening.
Then you said I was right,
Yeah, right around here.
so I guess I will attempt as much as I can continue along the since it leads to Arion.
Okay. Go ahead, roll another perception check real fast. Okay. So as you continue your journey, uh, walking through the edge of the forest, you can see on the western portion of the forest the tracks and trails of different various beasts that have probably left the nymph woods to go and catch their morning's food. You continue along the tree line, hoping to avoid contact with anything, for you're not in a very well formidable state. You continue, and you can hear the howls of wolves coming from behind you. As you turn around to see, probably about 300 yards or so away from you, you can see a pack of wolves. They seem to be sniffing your trail. What do you do?
Are there any trees with I might be able to climb?
You look around, and there are quite a few trees that have branches low enough to where you would be able to hoist yourself up. Although, based on the pain in your ribs, it could be tougher than had you been at, I guess, full health. But it's doable.
Am I able to tell how much of a pack or size of?
Based on the amount of howls you hear, you guess 2 or 3. It's a small pack. They're probably looking for food to bring back to their home. And if they find something that they can't take out, based on what you know about wildlife, they will go and seek more help.
I will attempt to climb the tree and hopefully with
Alright, go ahead and do an acrobatics check for me. Yes, meow, cat. Should be the first skill block. Oh, that's why. I think my internet just pooped again. Alright. Yes, you may access my microphone. Alright, can you hear me? Correct. Let me try to get things set up on my phone. Let's see, we'll do speaker. Alright, go ahead and say something real quick. Oh dear. Well, yeah, no, it's working. I got it. So, I'm trying to get it to where it's on speaker. That way, let's see. That way my recording can still hear it. Oh, that's why. Alright, try again. No, I don't know why the phone doesn't like going on speaker. That's fine. How upsetting. I don't know why their internet's so trash. Yeah, we'll find out. But anyway, so what was your role? Okay. Yeah, you're getting all your good rolls out in a preface. All right, so as you walk over towards one of the branches of the tree, you jump up, and the shooting pain once again takes over. And as you grab on to the limb, a moment of steel will takes over you, and you think to yourself, I have to get out of the way of these wolves, otherwise I won't be able to get my revenge. And you fight through the pain, lift yourself up, and now you're on top of the branch. You climb a few more branches, and then you prop yourself up on the branch into a cozy position to where you can see the wolves as they approach, and you try to shallow your breath. As you are breathing shallowly, the wolves come to the tree that you're at, and they start to sniff around, and they sniff around all the other trees, seeming to have lost your scent. Due to the fact that these are not super intelligent beasts, they end up splitting off, going into the forest, looking to try to get your trail once again. After a few moments, all of them exit your vision, and now you're hanging out in a tree. Do you want to wait it out a little longer, or would you like to go ahead and hop down and continue your journey? You probably waited for no less than a minute, no more than 2 minutes. So it didn't take them very long before they got to the tree that you were at from about 300 yards away. And then so far you've been in the tree for about 2 or so minutes since they've left your sight. Okay. Let's see, since I don't have access to roll 20, let me bust out my old style die and roll. So a few more minutes pass, about 10 minutes or so as you're waiting. Off in the distance, very far, very faintly, can you hear the howling of the wolves. More than likely, they have gone about half a mile away from your location, and they are in the eastern portion of the forest. They don't seem to have spotted you in the tree. Best you can tell, they probably gave up in looking for you and have gone on to looking for better prey. Okay. So easy enough. You take your time as you climb down, making sure to try not to have that sharp pain take over you again. And as you get to the very bottom of the tree, you know that you know which direction you need to head in order to get to Arion. Oh, hold on, are we back? Dope. We're back. Oh. Okay, we're back. So the rest of your journey, nothing ends up catching you off guard or taking notice of you. As you approach the edge of the town of Arion, the guards that are posted outside, you notice that there's probably 2 guards with pikes on the bottom port, or like in front of the gate, with about 2 or 3 guards at the top of the gate with crossbows. As you approach, they don't really take notice of you until you take a couple steps and then collapse. As you collapse, you can hear the guards, "Quick, we need a medic! Hurry! Someone has fallen!" And you can hear the steel plates of their armor clatter together, clank, clank, as they are running towards you. You try to stay awake as best you can, but the pain in your ribs, the exhaustion from the past few days' journey has finally taken over, and you fall unconscious. You're not sure how long passes before you finally awaken in a bed of a room that you could probably tell is an inn based on the smells. You can smell what smells like stew being cooked in a room But as you take a look at your body, your belongings are in the corner. Everything seems to be accounted for based on what you can see. You are bandaged up. You've got wrappings all around your chest and abdomen, as well as your left shoulder. Those minor scars and scratches that you had all look to be cleaned up, and it's as if somebody had come in, taken you, bathed you, and made sure that you were able to get your rest. After a few moments, you hear a slight knock on the door.
Who is it?
The door creaks open very slightly, and a gentleman with short red hair pokes his head in. Ah, it seems you have finally awoken. May I enter?
Go ahead.
Thank you. He walks in and closes the door behind him. He grabs the chair that's in the room and comes to your bedside and sits down. My name is Raymond, captain of Siege the Crimson's Guard. I heard that you had come from down in Titania area, or at least from that direction, and that you had collapsed outside the gates. So, after you had collapsed, I made sure that the men here took good care of you. We polished up your equipment and made sure that your wounds were taken care of. How do you feel?
Better, but still in pain.
That is to be expected. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but based on what we could see from your scarrings and battle wounds, something grave has happened. Do you care to tell me what you know?
I know very little. Titania. It was destroyed.
Destroyed? How so?
Giants. They came from the east and attacked. I know not why,
Giants.
but they overwhelmed the kingdom.
And giants were able to destroy the whole kingdom of Titania on their own. I know they are formidable foes, but they're not that clever.
That's all I saw. The only enemies that I am aware of.
It seems the giants, then, might be seeking new territories, and Titania just so happened to be the first of what I would think to be many. I will have to inform Siege of this, and things might have to... We might have to take care of these giants sooner than we had thought.
Am I first to be or to arrive from Titania? Are there no others that came before me?
As far as we know, no. No one from Titania has set foot in this town for quite some time. We had no idea that Titania was even under attack until you came. We only assumed that something had happened based on the scarring patterns that you have, but now that we know for sure, we will have to send out some sort of scouting party to see what remains. Did you notice if anyone else had survived?
By the time I awoke after the disaster, all I saw were the corpses of my friends, family, everyone that I knew.
That is grave news indeed. Well, you're not in much capable condition to go on a journey. You need your rest. I have set for a priest to come through and check on you daily to make sure that you get any medications that you need to ensure that none of your wounds grow infected and that you get a speedy recovery. There are ways to help you induce sleep if you feel that you need the aid. Just call upon the priest and they will bring it to you if you find yourself hard of sleeping. As for now, I will leave you. I'm going to go gather a group of men and we're going to go see what remains of Titania, and I will bring you back a full report.
Look,
Go ahead.
do the people of Bolite have like some type of insignia or something that
They
that-
do not.
I was
So-
wondering if there's a way that my character would be able to notice someone belong to that group.
Not you. You do see, so on his chest plate, You do see I believe it is a sword that is on fire. But you know this to be not anything like of, what's it called? You know this to be the symbol of Tempest, the god of war. It is one of the deities that is prevalent throughout this world. Other than that, there's no other insignias that would indicate that Raymond is part of Bellowlight.
Alright, then I say nothing. Leave.
Before I leave, may I ask your name?
Oswald.
Oswald. Once again, I am Captain Raymond, and you rest here for a few days. I should be back in a short amount of time. We will make haste. And like I said, I'll bring you a full report, let you know what happened, or what we find, if anything. And then we can think about what to do from there. Until then. And he sort of just walks out. He puts the chair back first and walks out. As of right now, you try to move your legs, but whatever sedative the priest has used on you is still taking effect, and you find it hard to move. It would take a long time for you to be able to get out of your bed. Knowing this, you decide to go ahead and just lay back and try to clear your thoughts. And after a few moments, darkness takes over and you fall unconscious as you go to sleep. This continues to happen for about a day or two, and finally, on the third day, you hear at your door.
Who's there?
It's Captain Raymond. May I enter?
Go ahead.
Door creaks open again, and it is Captain Raymond. He's got two gentlemen behind him that are wearing the same sort of armor set with the symbol of Tempest on their chest. Oswald, I've got some terrible news. I'm sure you saw most of the destruction as you left your home, but it's completely obliterated. We searched for days, and we could not find a single soul that had survived. We found, though, great markings of what looked to be a very large dog, but we did not find any body. Is there something else that you are not telling us?
Oswald is going to remain quiet and just look down after hearing that it's just been obliterated.
I understand that this is not something you want to hear about your home. I don't know you personally, but I assume that you've probably lived there your whole life. But if there's something that you're not telling us, we need to know so that we can ensure the safety of my men and make sure that whatever caused this destruction is found and brought to justice. Was there anything else attacking your kingdom?
I don't know. When I went to defend, I was smacked or hit somehow and smashed into a wall. The majority of the battle I was unconscious, and by the time I awoke, everything had calmed down.
Interesting. Well, we will continue the search, and it looks like you'll need a few more days to recover, but I might as well ask you now. And he looks over at the two men, and he sort of waves his hand in a way of keep post as he closes the door. Knowing that you have no place to go now, I would like to offer you a chance to get justice, as well as to hopefully maybe rebuild Titania one day. Would this be something of interest to you?
What point is there to rebuild? There's no people.
People come and go through life, and if you're creating a new kingdom for them to live, as long as you are a just ruler, people would come. Or, if you would rather, you can use your talents at best for another type of kingdom, an organization.
What kind of organization would you be speaking?
I come from an organization known as Bellalite. I'm not sure if you've heard of us. If we are doing everything the way we should be, you shouldn't have. It is a secret organization that is created to fend off the world's greatest enemy, known as Nagex. Have you ever heard this name before?
Out of character, real quick.
Yeah.
Since he is royalty, doesn't he technically already know? That
Well,
his father has some interaction with them, or
yeah, he would know that you would know that your father has some sort of interaction with them, but you don't know really what it is. He's never spoken of Bellalite to you, because the secret needs to be safe from everyone. The more people he tells, the more at risk he would be at. The more at risk Oswald would be. So he has never spoken to you about it, but you do know he has had some dealings with some sort of organization at best. And Oswald would probably come to the conclusion that this is the organization. You just have never heard its name before. As for Nagex, you've never heard of Nagex before, so this is a new name to you.
alright, then I guess he'll respond. I have not. What importance is the
Centuries ago, Elven society used to be the prime rulers of this world. They thought themselves the best race out of all others and would look down on the other races. Even though they looked down on them, they still gave them the rights the elves had, but they were typically shunned and not allowed in Elven society. Among these rulers was a princess named Nagex. She was a very powerful mage, and what legend says is that something had turned her to madness, and as her madness grew, she sought more and more power. She ended up finding this power, and no history books can tell us where or what, but we believe that she became a lich, which is an undead being that is exceedingly powerful in the arcane magics. After she became this lich, she ended up finding out how to bring people back from the dead. Once she had this power, she decided it was best to enslave all other races and become the prime ruler of the world. No more kings, no queens, unless it was her herself. As she began to take kingdom after kingdom, raising their dead back as her own and refueling her army, eventually the organization Bellalite was formed. All of the great leaders and warriors from every race that is known to the world came together and fought back against Nagex. During their final battle, when they were trying to storm her castle and take her out for the final attack, she exuded very, very much arcane power and overwhelmed the forces of Bellalite. And when things looked like they were just about to end for the rest of the world, the gods stepped in. Every last one of them struck down Nagex, one strike after another. But she was so powerful at this point that it didn't seem to really faze her. So they used all of their powers to banish her, and then they themselves ended up ceasing to exist as best as a humanoid could tell. Since her banishment, Bellalite was able to rebuild most of the world very slowly, and ended up keeping the organization a secret from the rest of the world. But we have always strived to find ways to ensure that Nagex's banishment stays as such. And we feel that there is a cult out there that is trying to bring her back. And we're trying to find them right now and keep them from bringing her back. We need every able-bodied person that we can, and If you're able to survive such destruction, I feel like you yourself, if proven, could be a very great member to our society.
You said Nagek is banished.
Yeah, as of right now, Nagex is banished. She has not been seen. No one knows the name because it's not really common to talk about. But Bella Light has been getting reports from their scouts and such that there's an organization that is trying to bring her back.
Also, real quick, I don't want to take too much time from your main event going on.
Yeah.
So, what do you want to do? Because it's already past 1 o'clock.
Oh, we can. I guess if we want, we can just fast forward a little bit.
You think maybe we could continue where we left off here another time, but for the sake of the rest of the party, do that little speed up?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can do that. In all honesty, I could tell them real quick because it should only take 10 more minutes or so.
All right. Well,
Let me go tell them real fast.
Plan things without telling me,
Yo.
and I'll be like, and she'll be like, "You're going," and I'll be like, "Okay."
Speaking
Oh,
of going,
bruh.
we'll be playing in about 10 minutes. We're almost done with this one-on-one.
Okay.
Okay.
Be right back. Okie dokie. So, do you have any interest in joining this organization?
what does me survive the destruction of my kingdom have anything to do with preventing the return of this powerful being that is no more?
Well, the destruction of your kingdom is tragic, and it doesn't really have a direct connection to Nagex at all, but what it does is it gives you resolve. It shows that you are a capable fighter. It also shows that you know how to handle yourself in combat. That is something that Bellow Light could use, especially if the times grow dark. I feel that being the final survivor of a country or of an empire, you would not want to see that destruction brought out onto another, which would help in your commitment to the organization. But if I have you pinned incorrectly, then I will say no more.
Very well. I will assist if I can, since there's nothing left for me to return to.
Very well. I will talk with Siege. He will determine the initiation process for you. For now, you must rest, and when it comes time, we will set forth a trial to make sure that you are capable of what it means to be a part of Bellow Light. Is there anything I can get you for now? Anything to make you comfortable?
I would like to be alone.
Very well. I will have the priests come through to redress your wounds, and I will give you a couple days to recover before we set off to Siege's fort in the west. With that, he stands up, exits the room, and you sit there pondering what you just heard. Unless there's anything that you specifically want to do in character at this point, we're going to jump forward.
Yeah, he's just gonna be, I guess, pondering.
Okay.
Could the Giants have some connection to this story? I mean, he just, random thought.
Yeah.
Nothing that coherent.
So, a couple days pass, and Raymond comes up to gather you. You're feeling way better than you were when you first got to Arion. He gives you some equipment, and you guys ride off to the harbor that's nearby. As you're packing the boat, you sail towards the west. As you're sailing, it takes a few days, about a week or so, before you come up to a harbor where there is a carriage waiting. And the carriage ride, Raymond looks to you and says, during the carriage ride, he looks to you. Now, Siege has requested that I bring you to him. Being the final survivor, he would like to interview you personally. Few things to note. He may look intimidating, but he is a very well thought out and calm, collected character, so do not fear him based on his appearance. Another thing, do not talk about his ears. He is of elven lineage, but his ears are that of a human. When he was younger, they were carved off, and you'll understand why he would be sensitive, hopefully. As a human myself, I would not want anyone to carve off my ears, so try not to stare at them. Other than that, do you have any other questions about what you're getting into?
None that I can think of.
Very well. So as the car ride or cart ride continues, it takes about a few hours before you get to Siege's fort. Once you get there, he unloads, and a human female approaches and greets Raymond. Ah, Raymond, you've returned from your journey. Ah, Sylvia, glad to see you. And you watch as these two embrace for a hug. This is Oswald. He is an initiate to our cause. Sylvia looks at you. Oh, very, very nice to meet you, Oswald. Where do you hail from?
The land, or the kingdom known as Titania, that is no more.
A look comes onto her face, a puzzled look. Raymond looks at her and says, I will explain it to you later, but for now we must see Siege. Do you know where he is? Yes, he's in his chambers as usual, making plans for taking over the goblin stronghold to the north. Very well. Oswald with me. And Raymond starts to walk forward. After a few moments, you guys approach the main portion of Siege's fortress, the most heavily guarded portion of it. As you enter, you go through a few hallways and rooms before you come into a large, what looks to be like a war chamber. It's got a very large table with a map of the world, and you can see a pretty burly elven man with his arms crossed looking at this map. As you enter, Raymond introduces himself. Siege, sir. It is I, Captain Raymond, and I have brought at your request Oswald of Titania. Huh, very well. Raymond, you may leave us. Oswald, please, come have a seat. Raymond leaves the room.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that also.
Okay. So you
He's
come...
not gonna. Have you obviously has like unhappy look about him, kind of like because he's still kind of pondering a thought, of all the darkness, his nightmares and whatnot. But he will just quietly go to sleep.
As you take a seat, Siege also sits across from you. Now, Oswald, I understand that your kingdom has been destroyed, and it only took a night for that to happen. I can only imagine the pain that brings to you, and I can also imagine the confusion. But I am here as a friend and a mentor. I want to help make sure that never happens to anyone's kingdom ever, and with your help, I feel that I could do that. Now, I am part of an organization known as Bellalite. I am one of the Inner Circle members and the head of the elven component of Bellalite. Your father, what was his name again? Edwin? Yeah, Edwin.
Yeah. So he knows of the royalty then.
Correct. Your father, Edwin, was also an Inner Circle member of Bellalite until, I guess, recently. Are you sure that he did not survive?
So this is the organization that my father never spoke of.
If your father never spoke of it, then he stayed true to his oath, and yes, we are the organization that he was in dealings with. He was a member, and He was growing Titania strong to help us fend off this cult that we've been hearing about that are trying to bring back Nagex, our sworn enemy. You
Does
have to...
everyone
Oh,
within the
go ahead.
organization know who I am?
Not in particularly. Only those that had dealings with your father would. And that would only be very few members of the inner circle, and anyone that's not part of the inner circle wouldn't know that your father is a part of Bellalite themselves. So, very few know of your royal lineage, and if you wish to keep it that way, that is your business. I'm not one to shout from the rooftops other folks' business, especially with the grieving that you have before you. But I come before you to help aid you in finding a resolution to this conflict. And in
For now-
turn,
Go ahead.
and in turn, I hope that you can help aid me and the rest of Bellalite from preventing disasters such as this.
For now, I am known as Oswald. And yes, my father is no more. I witnessed his corpse.
It's very sad. He was a great man, good leader. I am sorry for your loss. If there's anything that I can do for you, just let me know and we will try to make it happen. As for now, we don't have any reports on what the giants sought out from your territory, or how they even overcame it, but we will continue to look into it for the future. But now, I have one offer for you.
Before he makes it offer, he's gonna ask if he ever heard about 3 names, Urzer, Belial.
Okay. Those names do not come of note to me. Were they someone specific in particular? Were they the reasons that your kingdom fell?
I know not of their intentions or where they are. They were a court of wizards, would occasionally be at the kingdom dealings with my father, and in our time of most need, they were nowhere to be found. I wish to find them, to seek answers and justice from them if need be.
Very well. We will aid you in your search. But before we go any further, if you are to join Bellalite, I must put you to the test. I must see how much training you will require before I will be able to make use of you. Do you accept these terms? In addition, Bellalite will make sure to find whatever happened to your kingdom and put a stop to it. We will also make sure that you are always well fed and well equipped. More than likely, you will become a part of, you will fall under my leadership.
My father was in this organization, and it seemed to do no harm to him, so I have no for joining it myself.
Very well. So you accept. So with that, he stands up and he puts out his hand in a handshaking gesture.
I'm going to say Oswald hesitates for a second, but he'll go.
Welcome, Oswald, to Bellalite. As of right now, you are an initiate, but in time, I can see you becoming a captain. Maybe even part of the inner circle, and depending on how long we all live, I could see you being able to take over the reign of your father. With that, he begins to talk to you about some of the dealings of Bellalite and what they stand for and all that. I will send this to you in Discord real fast. This would be all of the information that you would have on Bellalite. Other than that, we will go and get our other D&D session started. So I'll
Sounds
see
good.
you in the D&D channel. Unless you
Right,
have a
then
question real quick.
real quick. So, how am I gonna make my entrance then? Since I.
Oh yeah. So you're gonna just kind of be chilling out for a couple minutes. They're gonna be doing their thing, and then there's gonna be a part where Siege comes up to deal with the goblins, and you're gonna be with him at his side.
And is this like a couple years later?
Yeah, this all takes place about 3 or 4 years before present time.
Okay.
All right, and then yeah, I'll let you know. Like you'll see your character token on the map when you get introduced.
Right. I'm just trying to think about how I'm.
Yeah. So it's going to be you, Captain Raymond, and Siege, the Goblin leadership, and the party, all doing like talking terms of an alliance. That's what'll end up happening.
Okay.
All right. See you in D&D chat.
You know, just
Yeah. I know. Hold your horses.
come on, dude.
You know how roleplay happens. Takes a while.
Yes,
sometimes.
I get it, but you can't just say you know how roleplay happens to me. Come on, Brady. I know.
Yeah.
My bad. I was hoping it wouldn't take too long because I knew I was supposed to start at 1.
It's all good. Miranda, welcome back.
Thank you.
How is the internet over there?
Garbage.
Insanely expensive. Ridiculously expensive.
You have to buy it?
Do you have a puck?
So
Or-
they have free. I did get a puck from someone, but I don't actually know how to put things on it.
hell is a puck?
Data on it. I need to find out.
It's
You
a
know, like
mobile
portable
hotspot.
Wi-Fi, but it
Oh,
actually
okay.
doesn't work outside my room anyway, or
Yeah.
outside.
You gotta
parts.
go. When I had it,
But
you had to go buy like a card, like a receipt or something.
yeah, I think I have to get like a SIM card.
Yeah.
She gave me a SIM card. I have to figure out how to load more stuff on the SIM card. That's
Yeah. We
Um,
always had the seller. We called and they gave us a number we wrote down, or we got a little receipt and we took that number and plugged it into like the
Oh,
Wi-Fi,
really?
Wi-Fi controller, like for the you turn it on, you log into it, and then you enter the code to the website, and then you give minutes, or
Can't
you
hear
just
anyone now.
I don't know. You either call someone or you enter it. You figure it out.
Okay.
Eventually.
Yeah. I figure I'll ask someone. Like I got it for free, so like because one of my coworkers was leaving, and I had been asking about how much it cost her to get it, and she was like, "I'll just give you mine. Fuck it." Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
But the internet, like the prices are stupid.
Probably like $60 for like 20 gigs or something like that.
So I pay for the $60 one and it's 80 gigs, but it's super fucking slow. Like they do it by like the speeds now, and to get like pretty much regular speeds, when I was looking at them, I'm like the speeds that I pay for at home, where it's like $40-$50 or whatever, is $150 here, $150 a month, and they call it the gamer package, and you still have a data cap.
Yeah.
I
Depending
pay
on
for the
what shift-
$60 one.
what
It's
shift-
just enough.
what
It's
shift
just
you work?
enough so that I can play Overwatch with minimum lag.
Well, Dan.
So
If you
Brady
get
is
on a nighttime,
still going
it's
to be
probably
joining.
easier.
Huh? Rachel
Rachel
said
going?
she was going to, but she was supposed to be here at 1, and she's not. Which is
Rip.
another reason why I was keeping the one-on-one going, because she wasn't here yet. So I'll just assume that she'll
'Cause you
either
might as well.
pop in. Yeah, she'll either pop in the middle, or she won't show, and that's fine. We can do this part without her. Did Bill say if he was going to be back, or did he just get tasked with something from his wife?
Well, he was on
just
his
here.
way home driving, but I'm
Yeah.
not sure if he got off because he's getting out of the car and whatnot, or if he is being tasked.
He didn't
Or-
say anything.
Gotcha.
Did
He just sort of disappeared.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'll text him real quick and tell him if he's able to join. Cool. If not, I'll fill him in tomorrow.
There
Oh,
are
wait.
only so many plot devices
Yeah.
you can use to make someone campaign.
I know, right? It's tough, but DMs have to do it. So let me send him that text, and then we'll get started. Luckily, my stream's already going, so that's
Once I
pretty cool.
figure out what.
How oddly convenient.
Actually, I'm gonna
Oddly.
cut it and then start over. I'll be right back.